name's Simon Clow. I'm one of the CREST assessors. I'm going to be describing quickly the roles inside a STAR engagement. The first role inside STAR engagement is a Threat Intelligence Manager, and to understand what the Threat Intelligence Manager is, we probably need to define what threat intelligence is in the first place. Threat intelligence is the legal and ethical collection of intelligence or information regarding an organisation, and its collation into a product that can be used to identify the risks that an organisation is working under. So the role of Threat Intelligence Manager is basically key during the acquisition of intelligence. So there'll often be a single point of contact for the analysis, generation, packaging up of the intelligence product. They will also be required to understand the target organisation and the markets that the target organisation operates within, and that will also include the geopolitical environment under which the organisation operates. As many customers won't have a huge experience of the consumption of intelligence products, Threat Intelligence Manager may actually be responsible for working with the organisation to help them understand threat intelligence, how to consume it and how best to use it, and potentially even in the circumstance of how to use threat intelligence to effectively operate a counterintelligence campaign. CREST CSAM is a CREST certified attack manager. The attack manager is the person who provides the oversight for an entire simulated attack. They will work with a customer to consume threat intelligence product. They will work with a simulated attack specialist to generate that product into a viable series of scenarios, and they will manage those scenarios in a safe and effective manner for the customer from start to finish. The CSAM exam consists of effectively two components. There is a morning component, which will consist of a series of multiple choice questions and then one mandatory long form question. The afternoon component will consist of two optional long form components. So you get given three long form questions. You choose the two that you're best able to answer, and then there is a scenario section at the back end of it, which allows you to demonstrate your capability of operating as a manager inside a simulated attack environment. The CSAM exam doesn't have any pre-existing qualification requirements, i.e. if you have the ability to come up, answer all the components of the exam, score the pass mark, you will be awarded that qualification regardless of any previous experience. A regularly asked question is whether or not you can hold both the CSAS and CSAM qualifications simultaneously. From a CREST perspective, that's really desirable because the skill sets between the two are hugely interrelated, and the two individuals inside the engagement need to operate very strongly and have good communication skills between them. Whilst that's true, with any individual engagement, the two roles have quite opposing challenges. The attack manager is going to be working with the customer, is going to need to be dealing with the procedural and the project management of actually delivering the activity, whereas the attack specialist is going to be really focused on the technical challenges around that. Now there is a risk that if the roles are combined into one individual, that individual can be drawn one side or other of those challenges, and therefore the other side of the engagement suffer. So the CREST CSAS role is the simulated attack specialist. This is the individual who is responsible for taking the tools, techniques and procedures of a threat actor and converting those into a tool chain that can be used to safely and effectively probe both the defences and the response capabilities of a target organisation. One regularly asked question is why there's a mandatory requirement to be current on CREST certified infrastructure tester role. The main reason for this is that there is quite a lot of overlap between the core concepts of a CCT INF exam and what's required to be able to operate effectively and sensibly inside a CSAS role. It's undesirable to test the same person on both skills or both core bodies of knowledge in two separate exams when effectively one's a progression from the other. So in order to hold the CSAS exam, we ask people to have been assessed and shown that they're capable of operating as an infrastructure tester. This doesn't mean that people that hold CCT app are incapable of operating in this role, except it's just that we have not assessed them in that capability, and we wouldn't want someone to take the exam and put themselves at a disadvantage not knowing the core concepts required. So the CSAS exam consists of two components, a theory component which is run in the morning and a practical component that's run in the afternoon. The theory component, very much like the CCT INF exam, is run over a series of multiple choice questions. Following on from multiple choice questions, candidates get to choose 3 long form questions from a pool of 4, and they answer the 3 that they're most capable of answering. The practical engagement is basically a simulated attack in miniature. So you're presented with a target organisation. The simulated attack specialist will need to perform some external reconnaissance, effectively some OSINT generation. They will use that intelligence to actually provide some attack scenarios, and then leveraging those attack scenarios, they'll try and deploy implant or tool chain of choice. Then using that tool chain, migrate through the organisation, migrating first inside the current authentication realm, transitioning between authentication realms, and then extracting information out the back end. The whole while they'll be required to have an understanding of and negate security products, for example IDS, IPS, and in certain circumstances AV and additional security controls. The primary difference between the CSAS and the CCCT-INF qualification from a practical perspective is during the CCT-INF you're effectively inside the organisation, you're transitioning and moving between hosts that are local to you. Inside the CSAS exam you have to still perform those functionalities, but you'll be doing it all at arm's length. You'll be outside of the organisation. So first of all you'll need to deploy an implant, and then you'll be able to manage and run that implant such that you can perform the same kind of activities as you do at CCT-INF, but all at arm's length.